Hello everyone. Are you seeing me? Okay. I'm Yoshizawa from Sony Development Team. Call me Yoshi. It's been a while if you watched the seminar in last year. I usually work on aibo API development. Nice to meet you. And this is my buddy Kotaro. He was kind of sleeping before like 1 minute. Can you see him? Okay. Yep. This. Yep. So here is Kotaro. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast from Tokyo, live broadcast from Tokyo. Okay, let's say something, Kotaro. Maybe he's shy or kind of sleepy right now. By the way, Tokyo is like 9 a.m. so maybe he's sleepy. So unfortunately this time you cannot post to the chat or to make some comment, but we are looking forward to hearing some feedback through questionnaire. So please find the questionnaire URL in the YouTube description position. So I hope you will still enjoy this seminar, and let's have a fun with us. So let's start. So here is today's agenda. Okay. Today we are going to talk about aibo visual programming, and at first, as a quick recap, we will talk about what was aibo visual programming, and even more basic, what was the programming for maybe 5 or 7 minutes. And after that, we will move on to actual programming topic. Here today we will talk about programming. Can you still seeing agenda? Okay. We have 3 topics today. The first one is a relatively simple program that is called Shakeup. And the second one is a happy or sleepy. And the third one, today's main topic is a timer, which is a timer, a function that aibo will tell you the time has come. Yes. So, and lastly, we have announcement. Okay, let's start from the very beginning. So let's start from talking about what is programming. So the rough idea of programming is that you can make a combination of a request via a computer. For example, in a daily life, you usually request aibo to do something like sit down or give me a hand or some other a voice command. But in a programmatical way, you can combine a request like give me a hand after sit down and work, and repeat these commands like 3 times. So as I said before, the core part of programming is to build a combination of requests. So how does it sound to you? Doesn't it sound easy? Okay, we'll finish a quick recap about programming, and next we'll talk about what is aibo visual programming. So aibo visual programming is a tool that allows you to easily create a movement of aibo without any programming knowledge. Have you tried it before? I guess so. but maybe some of you hear about aibo visual programming for the first time, so I'm quickly explaining what it is. So some of you so you can easily use this aibo visual programming by accessing from the below URL https visualprogramming.aibo.com. So this aibo visual programming is used or utilized by easily make some programming without completely without a programming knowledge. So this tool allows you to easily create your own program. So today we will use this visual programming. So let's get started. So I guess you're seeing my browser page here. Okay. So please access to the URL of https://visualprogramming.aibo.com/ not JP but US if you buy your aibo in US, because I bought my aibo or I encountered to Kotaro in Japan. I'm accessing from JP domain. So let's click start. So here is a basic screen of visual programming. You can access to this page by using your computer, smartphone, or iPad, anything. If you can use your browser. If you're using smartphone, the screen is maybe relatively small, so I recommend you using a computer or a tablet. So this time we are using Windows computer and Chrome as our browser. So let's visit visual programming page. Have you now? I think you are seeing this page. Okay. So on the left side, you can see many things, many colorful stuff that aibo is able to do through visual programming. Each of these are called a block. You can program by dragging and dropping these blocks to the right and connecting them. So for example, let's click some random block. Anything is okay. What we choose? Okay, maybe I will check. I will click this block. See how it works. Okay, because I choose I lays down, so Kotaro lays down as I command. Thank you. So this is the power of visual programming. Just by clicking a block, I can behave as I commanded. So okay, and as you can see here, there is I think you will find the name of your own aibo, and in my case my aibo is Kotaro, so this means you can control your own aibo only. You cannot program your own, you cannot another one's aibo. So please note about that. Okay. So by the way, I think your aibo is moving freely in the daily life. So you may want aibo to be a little quieter when you are programming. In that case, you can make aibo wait for commands. When you put aibo in waiting for command mode, it becomes quiet and wait for you. You can find that block in here, motion section, and you can click right now like this. So when you put your aibo in waiting for command mode, it becomes quiet and wait for you, like he's saying, now what do you want me to do next? Okay. And when you have done playing with aibo, please return it to stop waiting state by toggling like this. So if you didn't use this stop waiting after finished playing with aibo, he cannot move without your commands. So please click this stop waiting for command button after you after you finished playing. Okay. So, I forgot about that. aibo still has a motion too, and he may move its ears and tails while waiting for commands. Please be gentle with him or he or she as usual. Right? Okay. So let's move to the very fast visual programming. So the very first programming will be the Shakeup. The number one is a Shakeup, and and let's try executing blocks and combine blocks just like me. Please find a sound section from the left. Where is it? You can easily find section from this number. Okay. So please find a sound section and maybe bring this barks block to the right. So, and for some trial, let's click this barks block and see how it looks. Oh, okay. He's reacting. So for the next, I will bring another block like shaking from the action block to here, and we will click it again. Yeah, he looks very fun. Okay, great. So here is a combination, how we combine the block. So this is just combine the block, but clicking like this, he will accomplish a behavior in a sequential way. So this is the most basic part of visual programming. I guess maybe most of all of you know about this function, so let's just move on to the more higher level. Okay, so next will create a program that aibo will. So I guess you're seeing a slide right now. Now let's create a program that aibo will either be very happy or yawn if you say a good morning to aibo. Aibo will choose the behavior randomly from two of these actions. So the core part, or like most interesting part of this program, is aibo will choose randomly the behavior. Okay, so let's move on to how we create program. So let's find a overjoyed block for randomly chosen action. The overjoyed block is in here, and bring it to the right, and next in another one. For the another one, let's bring this works block to change for the yawns block, and separate this block for the randomly choosing the block. Okay, as a trigger, as I said, he should react to the good morning voice command. So please find the aibo event section and find when Kotaro said good morning block. This block's name is kind of long, but we have another longer version, command block, so please follow to me. Okay, so next component is selecting behavior randomly. How can we achieve that? So now we will introduce a new concept, a variable. So have you ever heard about that? I guess you have heard about this, but for the beginners, I will introduce from very basic. So okay, how we can set random variable. So we will use this variable section and make a variable, and let's create a new variable named like random val. Now here you have a new block in here. Let's bring this to the right. So what was the variable? So variable, if I say to explain variable, a variable is the kind of box that contains some number. So in this variable, it should contain some number. So let's click to check it. Now it shows a 0. So at every time you click on this variable, it shows 0 again and again. So because this 0 is a default number of this variable, so to set a random value, we need to set this random value to by using another block. So the another block is in here. So if you choose a random value to 0 by changing this 0 to certain block, you can change this random value. Okay, so okay, so so here I will explain how to pick random value. So this greenish block is to choose a random value from 1 to 10. So because we need a value to be 1 or 2 to choose either from overjoyed or yawns. So let's replace this 0 to pick random 1 to 2. So so as I said, this block can set a random value from the random value of number. So let's check it if it goes well. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, now it changes from 1 from 0, and if I click sometime it should change to 2. Okay. Oh yes, now it changed to 2. So here's how to choose a random number by using a set block. Okay, as we have a random value, we can use it to select condition depends on the random value. So how we can write down a condition depends on the random value. Let's bring if then block in control section. That is right from here. So okay, so and next let's bring some equal block in operator section in the green block. From here, okay. And let's combine it from now on, and like this. So now we have a if-then rule that evaluates inside of the random val is if a number is equals to 50. So if the 50 so to check either if it is 50 is kind of a nonsense in this condition, so let's change it to like 1. Okay, so if the random value is equals to 1, then we want to maybe make aibo to act like overjoyed. So this looks very reasonable, right? Because we want to choose either overjoyed or yawns action. Okay. Oops. Sorry, I mistakenly moved to this program. So, by the way, okay. But because we have 2 selections, so let's copy over this selection and and connect it to the bottom and change it to the 2 because we are selecting from 2, and replace this and to yawn. So now we have key components. So I will combine all the everything. So when Kotaro is set good morning, we will set random value to pick from random 1 to 2 and evaluate a random value inside. If it is equals to 1, then Kotaro will be overjoyed or either yawns. So let's try how it works. Okay, so I will try this program. Kotaro, are you prepared? Okay. Kotaro, good morning. Oh, he's overjoyed. Okay, so now it means he choose the first one. Okay, I will try it again. Kotaro, good morning. Okay, he chose overjoyed again. Maybe he's kinda too happy today. I tried the last try. Kotaro, good morning. Okay, this can't be a demo, but I hope no. I know that this program looks okay. So for these 3 times he choose to execute 1. So I guess maybe you can do this program by yourself. So let's move on to the next topic as we don't have so much time. Okay, before going to the next level of programming, I will share some information about a splitting program and make logics to be showed. So sometimes if you are programming a longer program, the program might be very long and sometimes you will lose overview of what you are programming. I think some of you might have experienced. In my work development, I sometimes encounter this program. So this is very important tips. So to avoid to make program longer, we sometimes split programs and make individual logic short. For example, our happy or sleepy program has roughly 2 sections. First part is triggering action part, and second part is executing action part. So we can split like this in the slide to the right by using myBlock or makeABlock function. And with this function, you can make the program simple by splitting to small groups. For example, for programming experts, you might notice this function corresponds to defining a new function by yourself. This will be useful if you're making a larger program. So let's talk about this, and let's learn how we can split like this. Okay, can you see my Visual Programming page? Please find myBlock a section in the left array and click it. I guess my block in here. So here we use it firstly. Now we make a name like happy or sleepy. Execute happy or sleepy. And add an input like number. This should be okay, and click OK. Okay, now we've made a new block called execute happy or sleepy. In here there was it was nothing around here, but now we have this block. And in the right section, this define something is right in here that pop up. Now you need to know, name a new block that you are making or defining from now on. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, I did it. Okay, here. By using these two blocks, we can separate these functions. So let's put a execution part another and combining it to the define block like this. And to split my happy or sleepy program, I will use my blocks that I defined right before, and let's combine it like this. So, and for this blank we will put a random val. So here is a complete splitting way of the one program to two programs. Okay, so and here we finish splitting. I will describe how does this means. The first, the triggering part in the left-handed one, the sequence of this block turns to very short, right? There's only 3 blocks. The only difference compared to before is in the last part. The last block says it will execute happy or sleepy by using a random value. Actually, this means exactly same as before we split program, right? And executing part is not describing the detail about what we will execute, but there's only one block about execute happy or sleepy. So in contrast, the definition of block defines the actual action of executing happy or sleepy when it provided a variable number. Execution block evaluates a number variable and decides which action I should execute. So this random val corresponds to this number in the field of the block. So this number variable is called a argument in general programming. So these my block function are clear to you? I hope so. So there's in the functional way, there's nothing changed. Just we split it and make it simple. We will use this technique in the next section, so please remember for this splitting technique. Okay, so finally we came to the last level. The next theme is aibo's timer. We will build some interactive program from now on. Yay! So with this program, aibo will notify you a certain time has passed by singing cutely, just like a slide in the right bottom. He looks cute, right? So here is a brief overview of aibo timer. At first, you will click Start Flag for the first step, or you can custom it to initiate program by voice command later. For the second step, you will tell aibo how many minutes later he or she needs to notify you. And aibo will understand the time by counting how many times you pet his back. For example, as shown in number 2, if you pet his back like 5 times, it means 50 seconds for aibo. You can custom this time. You can custom this time wait later, by the way. Okay, after you finish setting timer, you will tell aibo by petting his head gently. And for the third step, please find the third icon. After finishing time set, now we will tell aibo to start timer by touching his chin. For the last step, for the fourth step, aibo will tell us time by singing cutely. This sounds great, right? So in a visual programming way to describe this function, this will correspond to the block in the slide, in the right bottom. So if you push a green flag, you will count and set time as number of petting multiplied by 10 seconds. So this we are talking about the center block. In the third block, he will wait for touching chin and notify you by singing. Have you got it? I believe so. Okay. So let's dive into detail before we are going to actually coding. The most difficult point is the second step, right? And let's focusing on that point only. How can we achieve time counting? How can we achieve time counting? Okay, so the program flow of the second step will look like this in the second one. Until you touch aibo's head, he loops counting because aibo needs to keep counting unless you touch head. If you pet aibo's back, aibo needs to plus number of count because he wants to know that the number of the counting, and in parallel aibo will bark to let us know about he actually counted for the touching. Okay, with this logic he can count time and remember to notify you. So I guess now you know all the logic. Finally, we move to actually programming. Okay, let's move on to programming. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's move on to the iVisual programming page again. So first of all, okay, we will clean up these blocks. Okay, first of all, we will place the green flag button in here, and secondly we will define two blocks and create two variables. Actually this part is the most complicated step, so for this part I will arrange things first and explain the meaning later. So please keep following with me. So we have 4 steps. So number 1, let's define a new block by clicking make a block button. Where is make a block button, and let's name it like set timer length equals petting counter multiply takes input unit time and sec. I guess it's correct, right? I know it's like doesn't mean anything to you, but please do it same as me. So click OK. Now we have a block for the newly defined one, and let's place it in here. So okay, I said we have 4 steps. So as number 2, let's define another new block. By clicking make a block again. So what we gonna name it for this time? So we're gonna define this block for actually setting a timer. So thus we will name like a start timer for start timer for time and for sec, by adding input and adding a label button. So this block needs to know time as an argument to be set as input. Okay, so click OK. Now we have new defined block, and we move it from the my blocks section like this. So we completed to number 2. I know this is kind of meaningless unless I explain the meaning, so but let's keep going. So number 3, we will create a new variable named timer length. Okay, we'll keep on going. And number 4, let's define another variable named counter. Okay. So here we have defined 2 blocks and 2 variables. Finally, we will finish these blocks up by combining them. Please look at here, and please place a flag button first, followed by set timer length and start time for sec. And click this empty circle and place like 10, and let's use timer length. So timer length sec to here. So now we have overview of our timer program. This is very simple compared to our operation that we did. So let's explain finally what we have built now. So if you click on, if I explain about this program, if you click on the green flag, we will set timer length equals to pet encounter times 10 seconds, and start timer for timer length that is equal to here seconds, and aibo will notice you in later. So with these 3 blocks, it covers almost all of the program, but there's not much detail. There's only teach you overview. So this reminds you the splitting program, right? So let's move on to actually making details of your program. So we will define this set timer length block from now on. So for this part, aibo needs to know repeating until he or she is petted on his head. So we now want to know if he should repeat the counting. The condition is if Kotaro is petted head, will be okay. So with this loop, he can count unless he is touched to the head. So let's actually count to the sensing of the back. for the timer. So I need this function, I need this block, and this if then rule. Let's place it to here, and you will soon know what I'm doing right now, so please keep following to me. So let's place sound, and let's take some variables like here. Okay, so now we have most of the component. So if I explain right now, he will keep counting unless he touches to the head, and he will and if he is better to the back, then Kotaro barks and change counter by 1. And this means Kotaro notices by barking and change counter by adding up, counting up by 1. Okay. So in the final, we need to count up for the set timer length, because we are defined to set timer length equals to petting counter multiplied by unit times second. Okay. So we will add another block to set timer length to reset to set it to the timer length for the certain amount. So let's bring this set counter block to 0 to the last part, and instead of just setting 0, we will choose operators of multiplying right here, and that should relates to this definition. So what rank we should fulfill right now? We should use a petting counter as in here to the left one, to the left one, to the left one, and for the right one we use this unit time sec. Okay, so we are nearly finishing. For this part, now he can count for the petting time and set the counter to the multiplying results of counting, counter, and unit time. Okay, so this block, okay, so we have one last block that we haven't used before. This block accounts for starting timer and let aibo things if the time has come. Okay, great. We will make this logic that is now empty. So please add wait until blah 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 block, which you can find in the control section. In the control section here, and wait until block to this part and fulfill the blank by the censoring block to notice the eyeball is eyeball is touched to the chin here. So after he senses to the touch of chin, let's start a timer of how much time he wastes. So let's find a block from a control section and add it to here and change the 1 second to the more specific to the time, this local variable. Okay, so from this by adding this, I should start for the timer actually he starts for the timer. Okay, so after the timer has ringed, he should sync to notify you, as I said. So let's find the sound block and place it to the last part. Okay, and this is a final operation. So this was the final operation, so it's all finished right now. お疲れ様でした。We have a small, maybe we have a small rest before we test program. So the last level 3 section was so long, so we should have a quick recap before executing this program. So we will recap what we have built. We wanted to make an app to tell aibo notify you a certain time has passed by singing cutely. If you click on the start flag, set timer length is equal to the counter for petting multiplied by 10 seconds. And after touching his aibo's chin, he will count for the timer that he was petted. So what did we build it correctly? Let's check it for the final. So we have only 1 minute for the broadcast. So if he fails, I think we can't complete. So let's do it. Let's click for the green flag, and there's a yellow covered in here. So this here is the activating part. So let's touch his back for counting. Oh, now he barks. I guess he's understanding. So let's count it again. Okay, looks great. So let's touch to his head. Now it's the yellow part of the visual programming changed to the next one here, as you can see. And for this part, let's start a timer by touching his chin. Oh. Oh, he starts singing, but I guess he doesn't wait up to any seconds. I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, but we over the time. Maybe you can find my mistake in this section. So maybe we have like modification or announcement for this visual programming, and maybe we have next time for more details or some other. Will be some other chances. So for this section, for this webinar, we will finish over from now. Okay, please fill out for. Please find before finishing. I have announcement, so please find our questionnaire for the below URL of description, and please try visual programming as you want, and post your works to the Twitter or Facebook. We have a Facebook page in the US aibo Development Team. So it's nearly finishing for the time for this time. So okay, so I will say see you soon with Kotaro. See you. Have a happy coding. No. Bye.